about where that mound of muck will be is the location of the pump station that would take the water to and from the C51 canal system and all of the Water Management District canals located to the south of the property. Our plan that we've been working through with the utilities and with the Lake Worth Drainage District and the Water Management District is that this would be a completed project. And so based upon the plans and specifications, we would actually construct the reservoir, construct the levees, construct the canals, install the pumps, make sure the pumps are connected, make sure the pumps all work, and then we would turn the keys over to Lake Worth Drainage District or the utilities or the Water Management District. There's still a lot of work that's being done, not to get too far into the details, but the utilities in the Water Management District and the Lake Worth Drainage District have been working on a memorandum of understanding to talk about the next stage of evaluation in terms of how would the governance of that entity work, how would you get the water to the utilities, how would the utilities get their permits, and the main focus of this reservoir is not just to capture rainwater, but it's to capture water that's currently being dumped out to tide every day. An interesting statistic that Larry's boss had told us at a county commission meeting a number of months ago is that all of the utilities in Palm Beach County use about 260 million gallons a day of water. So that's everybody. That's all the utilities for everybody that lives and works in Palm Beach County. About 262 million gallons a day get dumped into the ocean every day.
Really?
Yeah. So our real problem in Florida from water and statewide, don't quote me on this number, but it's something like 2.8 billion gallons of water that's utilized every day by all the people, and about 2.9 billion gallons a day gets dumped into the ocean every day. So our big issue really isn't that we don't have enough water. Our issue is we don't have enough places to put it. And if you think back to the 1800s and the early part of the 1900s. What we did in Florida was our goal was to get rid of that water. Somehow, some way, we got to get rid of that water, and the easiest thing to do was dig a canal and send it to the ocean. Now we're realizing, you know what, it'd be kind of nice to keep some of that water. And so this project, what it would do is give the utilities access to a very clean, a consistent source of water. The qualities are known. Most of your utilities in South Florida are used to using water from surface water to recharge their well fields. The existing infrastructure is in place, and so it would give the utilities an ability to do that. The thing it would also allow them to do is to avoid more expensive alternatives. One of the alternatives that's available for a utility that needs more water is to go to the Floridan aquifer, which is the deeper aquifer. It's saline. It's got probably, depending on where you are, 1,100 to 2,000 to 3,000 parts per million of chlorides. And then what happens is with the Floridan aquifer, they bring it up and run it through a reverse osmosis treatment process to clean the water and treat it. Now, the problem with that is that runs about $2 per 1,000 gallons a year in operational costs. And the capital cost for doing a Floridan RO system runs about $10 capital cost per gallon. So $10 to create it, and then $2 per 1,000 gallons a year to operate it. It's also a very, very high energy process, and you have to constantly change the membranes, because as those membranes become used, you got to replace them, the filters. And then the other thing that's starting to happen is the Floridan aquifer, that water was, it's estimated, and again we don't know, but it's estimated that water was deposited in that aquifer in the last glacial age. And so last time we were covered by glaciers and then it melted, that water went into that aquifer. FPL recently had an issue in that they had a backup supply from the Floridan aquifer, and it was becoming saltier faster than they expected, which meant that it was costing them more to treat it, and they were having to replace the membranes. So what the utilities are trying to do as a region is working with everybody and saying, listen, we've got to be able to provide consistent less expensive water to our customers. And we really don't want to use all that energy for the reverse osmosis. And by the way, the 262 million gallons a day that we're dumping into the lagoon isn't really helping the lagoon, because that system would prefer not to have that water, and then the residuals that come out with it. So that's kind of the idea behind the project.